name is Beston. I live in Cape Town. Also, I do delivery. Interbet helped me to realize my dreams. Now I have my own delivery vehicle and I'm able to do the removal in and around Cape Town.
Ending off the meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the poly track is race number 8, the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Merit-rated 64 handicap, where they'll do battle over 1400 meters. At the time of recording, all 12 runners will take their place. There's a reserve runner number 13, Imaginable. So take note of your final declarations on race day as the show is pre-recorded. Right, let's get to the business at hand, where the betting suggests number 3, Fish Eagle, a lukewarm favourite at 4-1. Porphyrio number 9 is 11-2. My first selection, number 1, Wave Warriors, around 6 and 7-1. 7, San Marzano, around 7-1. And there's a horse that could also be some value. So between numbers 1 and 7, I think there's a little bit of value there. Looking beyond those horses, number 6, Brass Bell, and even a horse like number 8, Lucky Dollar, although yet to win on the poly, could be thrown into the equation. Rahil, when you look at race number 8, I'm just going to touch on number 1, Wave Warrior firstly, and then I'll hand it over to you. Both wins have come on the poly track. He's had 2 runs this year. Last time they experimented over the 1900. I don't believe he saw out the 1900 meter trip. And if you go back earlier in his runs, on the 24th of May on the poly, 1.7 lengths behind Ibuto. After that, he ran 4th to Sequoia, an 84 handicap, and then he ran 3.9 lengths behind Ibuto. I believe his last 2 runs would have brought him on significantly. Coming down to the 1400, although he's got 3 seconds and a 4th, I believe from that number 1 draw, I think 6-1 could be the value play for me, number 1, Wave Warrior. And then when you look at number 3, Fish Eagle, 80 days off the track. Lulu the Legend, 302 days off the track. And a horse like Porphyrio, Stevie G, all coming back from breaks. So I'm going to go number 1, Wave Warrior, the horse to beat. And then number 7, San Marzano as my second selection. How do you see race number 8, Rahil?
Last time out, I thought Wave Warrior was a big runner, Sheldon. I actually thought he'd see out the 1900 meter trip, and I think you're right. He didn't quite see it out. He was beaten 4 lengths behind Fine Admiral on a day that the front runners were suited, and he was used up. He was bound to tire late on in the day, and probably back to 1400 meters will suit him, so he'll be right there at the finish. I think a horse like number 2, Rafiki, must be forgiven for his last start. It was clearly all wrong. He was returning off a layoff, so he may have just been in desperate need of that outing, and he didn't put his best foot forward. But when you have a look at his previous form, quite solid, steady, never too far off them. And from gate number 2, Calvin Abib in the yards once again on a mark of 63. He can certainly run a nice race on a surface that he does go well on. I think a horse like number 6, Brass Bell, given that his form is far superior over 1400 meters, he needs to go in once again. Even though he is slightly a better turf horse and he is a poly horse, I think with Samango Kumalo aboard, he could run a nice race, the 7-year-old son of Pathwalk. And then San Marzano will be there or thereabouts. Last time out, I know he was fancied by the yard to run a big race, and he ran 4th behind all around the world. They expected a bit better from him on the day. They expected him to get closer to the action. He's dropping in trip to 1400 now after going over 1750 last time out, and Sean Veal takes a ride. And then number 9, Porphyrio. He's been a revelation since he's dropped in the ratings and went over 1400 meters. He's found his form, and last time out he only ran 3rd behind a few dollars more. He has his first run for Yogas Governor, for the owner Mr. C. Governor, 61.5 kgs on the back. He does look to be quite a strong son of soft falling rain, so I don't think the weight would be a concern for him. He may just be in need of a run, returning off that rest, but I think he could run a big race. And then you've got a horse like Count Marsh, absolute poly specialist. If he was not drawn so wide, I think he'd be a lot shorter in the market than what his current price is. So I think you can make a case for a number of runners in this contest, Sheldon. And I would go narrowly with number 2, Rafiki. I'm willing to forgive him for his last start. I think he's better than that. And on his previous form, I think he could run a nice race.
Just touching on the number 9, Porphyria. If you look at his distance form, 4 runs for 3 wins and a third, so certainly a distance specialist, but as you mentioned, 71 days off the track. And number 12, Count Marsh, like you mentioned, if this horse was drawn in the top 6, he'd be my second selection. But nevertheless, we'll throw him into the play. And interesting, Samanga Kamala has just come down for the 2 rides on the day.
Yeah, I was actually looking at that. I was thinking to myself, I see Samanga and Brass Bell. I mean, I haven't really paid much attention to him, throughout the other races. So he's obviously down for something, and we know that Monty's his agent, so he's possibly come down specifically for this ride. Maybe Duncan Howes has told him, I think Brass Bell will go close on the day. So who knows what the case may be, but he's a horse that does have form to his name, and let's see if Samanga can do something with the 7-year-old son of Pathwalk.
And the dangerous thing is, if you look at his form lines of the last 2 runs, all the time,
lethal.
We've seen that absolutely lethal. There's been about 4 or 5 winners. And then Giambattista the other day absolutely blew them away.
I think all the time has Frank that form twice by winning.
He's come through and won exceptionally well. And then Giambattista won by 4 or so the other day. So maybe the 7-year-old, maybe Samanga Kamala, they've told him, come down in town. We're going to get the money for Easter.
Possibly. Let's see how it all goes in race number 8 on the program, which does look to be a race with a few winning hopes, but I think you can certainly narrow your selections down in race number 8.
It's good fun. Days like these are great. You get the whole industry together, and to have, companies and corporations like Interbet and Cape Racing who are so generous with sort of time and energy into making a day like this possible is it's fantastic for everyone.